Good evening, students. Welcome back to Sri Ramanuja Vidya Mandir. Back to your English grammar class. Well, students, as you all know, we have already completed our tenses, and now we are going to start the voice. In your previous records, I've already told you about the modal auxiliaries and the primary auxiliaries, the verb forms, the main verbs, and the auxiliary verbs. And also, I've told you like how the verbs play a major role in the sentence. Okay, students. So your entire, when you speak English, the meaning of your sentence or the understanding of your sentence is basically depending only on the grammar, only on the verb part. So verb plays a very big role in the grammar, especially your tenses. Tenses is very, very important in your English grammar. So you have to, you ought to have a thorough look, a thorough, hold on your tenses. Then everything becomes easy. So here we are, students, today getting along with the voice. You must have heard the voice. Okay? The voice is what is the voice? It's active and passive. So these are the two voices where the meaning of the sentence without being changed, the meaning will be same. The meaning will not be changed, but the subjective part, the doer, is going to become the objective part, the doer. And the objective part, receiver, is going to become the subjective part in passive voice as a doer, as a receiver. So this is what you're going to learn, how to change active into passive voice, and most importantly, why to change an active voice into passive voice, and where to use active and where to use passive. See, generally you must have been learning this active voice and passive voice since your high schools. So you know how to change active into passive. You know the rules of changing active into passive. But why? Why should we change active into passive? When we ask me this question, most of the students will think, what we know. You English teachers will be putting us loads and loads of work. This rule, that rule in grammar. And so we are doing it. Fine. We are not troubling you, students. We are not like messing you up or confusing you. Okay? No, we are not doing it. The main intention of changing an active into passive, or the what actually is an active and what actually is a passive, today I'm going to teach you. Well, students, first of all, we'll go with the transitive and intransitive verbs. Before I could teach you active voice and passive voice, first of all, I should tell you that there are various forms in grammar, the verb forms. Okay, the verb types in grammar. The two types of verbs are transitive, intransitive. Now, what is transitive and what is intransitive? A verb can be described as transitive or intransitive based on whether it requires an object to express a complete thought or not. So, what does it show? It's showing the verb can be described as transitive or intransitive based on whether it requires an object. This is important, students. Based on whether it requires an object to express a complete thought or not. When I'm speaking something, I should complete and my sentence must have some sense. I was teaching you in your previous class about phrase and clause when I'm going with the conditional clause. Where is your father? In the market. Where is your father? Went to market. In the market is a phrase. Went to market is a clause because there is a verb in that phrase. So it is not going to become a phrase, it's going to be a clause. Whenever there is verb, then that is going to be a clause. It's not a sentence, it doesn't have a subject. My father went to market is sentence. Went to market is clause. In the market is phrase. So I've explained you all that. Now, when I'm speaking probably in a phrase or in a clause, it should be meaningful. It should be understood. If you don't understand, then you're not communicable. Your message is not passed on to the other's brain. So, for that, here we are teaching you transitive and intransitive. Transitive requires an object. Intransitive doesn't require an object. I repeat, a verb can be described as transitive or intransitive based whether it requires an object to express a complete thought or not. So, in the transitive, verb is one that only makes sense if it exerts its action on an object. Now, what is transitive? A transitive verb is one that only makes sense. Okay? The transitive verb will make sense only when it exerts its action. Means, without an object, this doesn't make sense. Only if there is an object it makes sense. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. That is transitive. Transitive verbs are not just verbs that can take an object, they demand objects. Now listen carefully. Don't think for a transitive verbs mandatory we have to keep an object. No. It is not that for a transitive verb, beside a transitive verb, I have to put an object. No. Without an object, the verb is meaningless. That's the meaning. So I suppose you understood the difference, students. Don't think if I put an object beside any verb, it is going to become a transitive verb. No. The verb demands object. Without an object, it is meaningless. So here the sentence says, transitive verbs are not just verbs that can take an object, they demand objects. Without an object to effect the sentence that a transitive verb inhabits will not seem complete. I repeat, without an object. If there is no object, without an object to effect the sentence that a transitive verb inhabitants, means a transitive verb will have, without an object, the sentence will not be, I am making it short, without an object the sentence will not seem complete. The sentence is not completed if there is no object. I have given you a small example here. John threw the ball. Here, John is the subject. Okay? John is the subject. Threw is the predicate or the verb. The ball is the object. Now look into the sentence. In this sentence, the verb threw is transitive. So this is transitive verb. In this sentence, the verb threw is transitive. Its object is ball. The thing that is being thrown. This is object which is thrown by John. Without an object of some kind, this verb cannot function. Say for example, I don't use this object. Supposing I don't use it. I say John threw. When I say John threw, you're all waiting and seeing like what I'm going to say next. I say students, John threw. John threw what? So you should have understood, students, for a transitive verb an object is required. It demands, because if you don't supply an object, the sentence becomes meaningless. John threw what? It's incomplete. John threw. No, it's incomplete. So this is transitive. Did you understand? Now supposing I say, for example, he played. To some extent, the sentence is meaningful. He played. Or I will say, he is playing. Fine, he is playing. He is not studying, he is playing. He is wasting his time. Or he is having some physical exercise. The sentence is meaningful. He is playing. So there, to some extent, it doesn't require an object. It doesn't demand an object. So is playing is intransitive verb. But supposing I say he is playing with a ball. He is playing with what? With a ball. Then, because I've supplied an object, it's going to become a transitive verb. So now you must have understood, students, when an object is not placed and if the verb becomes meaningless, incomplete, then remember that verb is transitive. He threw. You don't understand. He play. He kicked. You don't understand what? So unless and until an object is put over there, there is no sense in that verb. So these kind of verbs are called transitive. So John threw the ball. You must have understood, students, in this sentence the verb threw is transitive because its object is ball and the thing that is being thrown. Without an object of some kind, this verb cannot function. John threw. Threw what? To whom? So remember or listen very, very carefully, students. The most important part is this part. Through what? To whom? Transitive verbs always asks the question what, whom. Whenever you ask a question of what and whom, the question begs itself because the meaning of through demands it. I say John threw. You don't understand. The sentence is incomplete unless and until I provide an object for it. So these kind of sentences are called transitive. These kind of verbs are called transitive. I've given you some examples over here, students. The girls. All the things which are in yellow color are the subjects. The girls. Carry is the verb. Carry what? Water. Now this is complementary. Subject, verb, object. This only you have to concentrate. That is complementary. The girl carry what? Water. She brings what? Coffee. I caught what? A rogue. I caught whom? A rogue. So you have seen, students, you have seen that here the object is answering the question what? Coffee. She brings what? Coffee. I caught whom? A rogue. She loves what? A rainbow. She loves, verb, what? A rainbow. Okay? So, Leela is conveying. Is conveying is the verb, verb, present continuous. Is conveying what? She is conveying what? A message. So, it's an object. So now through the examples, you must have clearly understood the examples of transitive verbs. These verbs are incomplete without objects. And the object is what, whom. It's not only what, it is also whom. Did you understand? So if I say the girls carry, you don't understand. She brings, you don't understand what she brought. I caught, whom. She loves, what or whom. Leela is conveying, what. So you should have understood the examples of transitive verbs. Without object, the verb becomes meaningless. So these are called transitive verbs. Each of the verb in these sentences have objects that complete the verb's action. Can you see? Each of these verbs in the sentences have objects that complete the verb. They have the objects that complete the verbs. The verb's action. They complete the verb's action. If the objects were taken out, the result would be illogical and questions would be raised in the mind of the reader. For example, Leela is conveying. Conveying what? So if I doesn't supply the object there, the sentence become meaningless. And then the students or the readers or the listeners will be in a confusion of not knowing the completion of the sentence. So objects are mandatory to be supplied beside a transitive verb. So if the object, without an object, if the verb is meaningless in the sentence, then it is a transitive verb. So now you must have understood what is the meaning of transitive. Let us go with intransitive verbs. An intransitive verb will make sense without one, even when there is no object. What is one over here? The object. What is one? Object. An intransitive verb will make sense without object. Means even though there is no object, it will make sense. Some verbs may be used in both ways. Now see for an example. He ate quickly. Now you must be wondering, he ate. Supposing I say he ate, then quickly is supplied. If quickly is not supplied, then ate have no meaning. No. He ate. He finished eating, that means. Okay, where is the cake? He ate. So that has a sense. The meaning is given for us. So even without an object, the verb is complete. So when a verb doesn't require an object, it is called intransitive. But here, quickly is not an object. Listen students, I have told you very, very particularly, whenever you wanted to understand if the words following the verb is an object or not, what is the question you have to ask? What? Whom? That's all. He ate what? Quickly? No. He ate whom? Quickly? No. He ate how? Quickly. So this is answering the question how. He ate how? He ate quickly. So this is intransitive. Any words which are not answering the question of what or whom to a verb, then they are not objects. I repeat once again. Any word, any verb which has, a verb which has, or a verb which questions of what and whom are objects. Now here, he ate. How? Quickly. So it is an intransitive verb. Ate is an intransitive verb because without an object, the sentence is meaningful. He ate is sufficiently understood. He ate quickly is well understood. Now the next question, next sentence, look into the example. He ate quickly. What? an apple. So this is transitive because it has an object. He ate quickly what? An apple. So then only when the word ate, the verb, is transitive, you can change it into passive. Otherwise you can't change it into passive. From an active voice to a passive voice, you can only change. Okay, this is active. This is an active voice. Okay. So, from a active voice only you can change into passive. How do you know that it is an active voice? You first must identify the verb. What should the verb be? It should be a transitive verb. And it should have an object. Of course, damn sure, when the verb is transitive, it ought to have. It compulsory must have an object. Then only it's a transitive verb. So when a verb is transitive, the voice of active can be changed into passive. See, an apple was eaten by him quickly. You can add the word quickly over here. He ate quickly an apple. An apple was eaten quickly by him. An apple was eaten quickly by him. Or an apple was eaten by him quickly. So here you have quickly. An apple was eaten quickly by him. So remember, students, once again, transitive verbs mandatory will demand an object. Intransitive verbs doesn't require an object. So this you must have understood by now. Examples. They jumped. It's understood. They jumped. They jumped what? Is not required. The dog ran. She sang. The light was shining. So these are the subjects and this is the object. Subject, verb. Sorry, not object. These are the subjects and these are the verbs. Okay? Verb. A light. I'm so sorry, students. This is supposed to be in was shining. Past continuous. So, was shining is the verb. Was shining is the verb. So, here you must have seen there is a subject and there is a verb. There is no object. This is an intransitive verb. Without objects, they become meaningful sentences. An intransitive verb is the opposite of the transitive verb. It does not require an object to act upon. So what is a transitive? Mandatory, it requires an object. What is an intransitive verb? It doesn't require an object. So this you must have understood. None of these verbs require an object for the sentence to make sense, and all of them can end a sentence. She ran. The dog jumped. Okay, they are understood. Okay, and all of them can end sentences. Some imperative forms of verbs can even make comprehensible one-word sentence. Imperative. What is imperative? A request or a command. What is imperative? It's a request or a command. It's a request and a command. Now look into the examples. Run. That word itself is a sentence. What is the meaning there? What is the missing word there? You. You run. You sing. So the hidden subject is you. So this is the subject. And this is the verb. But you don't need to use you. You can say run. It denotes that you run. Sing. That means you sing. So even one word can be a sentence. This is intransitive verb. How to identify a transitive verb? How to identify a transitive verb? Listen carefully, students. Now, he gave an apple. I've told you the question what must be asked. He gave to Mary. To whom? To Mary. So, the object over here is answering the question what and answering the question whom. He gave in the class. It is answering where. He gave it slowly. How? It's answering the question how. He gave it yesterday. When? Yesterday. So, anything which is other than answering the questions of what and whom is intransitive. So, these two are transitive and all the remaining verbs are intransitive. Let us try to go with a better understanding by trying to convert them into passive voice. Okay, here in the active voice, he gave an apple. An apple was given by him. An apple, subject in receiving case. Was is the be form. Given is the V3. By him is the objective case in a doing form. It is in a receiving form. It is in a doing form. So the formula you have applied and the sentence is meaningful. An apple was given by him. Mary was given. Mary was given by him. Who was given the apple? Mary was given. So Mary was the subject in a receiving form. Mary was be form. Objective. So Mary was given. Who was given? Who was given the apple? Mary was given the apple. So this is also a meaningful sentence. So here the objects are, you can see, they are, here an apple is a direct object and Mary is indirect object. Fine. Now look into the next sentence. Where did he give? He gave in the classroom. Where did he give? He gave in the classroom. Let us try to change into passive. Classroom was given by him. Meaningless. Slowly was given by him. How he gave? He gave it slowly. Slowly was given by him. Wrong. No meaning in that sentence. When he gave it yesterday. Yesterday was given by him. So remember, students, to better understand, you only have to see that the transitive verb or the verb is answering the question of what or and whom or not. Otherwise, it's meaningless and it is intransitive. Now, because you have understood transitive and intransitive, let us have a look into the voice. Active voice and passive voice. Almost I taught you. Sentence can be active or passive. Therefore, tenses also have active forms and passive forms. Okay. So, in your tenses, I already taught you tense. Okay. I made a tabular form and I'm explaining you in the next class. So, here you can see they can be used both in active forms and passive forms. You must learn to recognize the difference when you successfully speak them. What is active and what is passive? The forms you must carefully recognize. Otherwise, you will make mistakes in your grammar. So, the difference very carefully you have to observe. Now, let us see in this form. Voice is of two types, active voice and passive voice. What subject does? Remember, active does the subject. And here, passive focuses on the action. It focuses on the action. So, you must have had a doubt, students, where to use an active voice, where to use a passive voice. Remember, students, whenever you are giving importance to the subject, who is doing it? Then, when you want to identify or when you want to focus on the subject, you have to use active voice. But when you doesn't want to focus the subject, who is doing is not important, what he is doing is important, then you have to use passive. Now did you understand? When the focus is on action, use passive voice. When the focus is on subject, when the focus is on subject, use active voice. When the focus is on action, use passive voice. Ram killed Ravana. My intention is on Ram. What he did? He killed Ravana. So I'm talking about Ram here. Passive, Ravana was killed. So my intention is this fellow, the demon has died. So my intention is on this. So when my focus is on the object, I will put the object first. But when my focus is on the subject, I will put the doer. Then I will put the doer first. So this is the basic difference what you have to understand in an active voice and passive voice when you're using them in your writing skills. Now active form. In active sentence, the thing doing the action is the subject of the sentence and the thing receiving the action is the object. Most sentences are thing doing action plus verb plus thing plus receiving action. Students, I've already explained you the thing doing the action is the subject. Whoever is doing the action is the subject. Where? In active voice. Okay? So this is active voice. But when you look into your passive voice, in the passive voice, the thing receiving the action, in a passive voice, the thing receiving the action is the subject. Active voice, thing doing the action is subject. In passive voice, thing receiving the action is the subject. This is a major, very important part, what you have to remember in your active and passive. Passive is receiver. Whereas active is doer. Now when you look into the example, the professor teaches the students. I'm talking about the professor. What did he do? He teaches. Whom? The students. So the question whom is given here. The professor teaches the students. John washes the dishes. John washes what? The dishes. So here the professor is teaching. He is doing the work. Here John is washing. So both of them are doing. When the subject is doing the work, it is called active. But in your passive, you can see the subject is receiving the action. The students are taught by the professor. The dishes are washed by John. So here these two are receiving the action. Can you see? The subjects are receiving the action. So when the subject is receiving the action, remember student, that sentence is passive voice. Now you are emphasizing and you are mostly concentrating on the work, on the action. They are washed. The dishes washed. Students taught. So this is important. Not who taught and where, what is important. So students are taught. Dishes are washed. If you doesn't want to say by whom it is washed, you can just simply say dishes are washed. Finished. So this is the difference between active and passive voice. And for a better understanding, I have a tabular form, and in the 4 types of sentences, declarative, imperative, interrogative and exclamatory, I will show you how to change active into passive voice. Okay students, just go through these rules once again and get prepared for the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.